You woke up today and saw that strange stain on your bedroom mirror. It is not common dust, it is not normal dirt. It is an opaque, somewhat greasy mark that seems to appear out of nowhere and that you clean, but it returns. And do you know what that means? That you are literally seeing negative energy leaving the environment. It is not madness, it is not superstition. It is a real phenomenon that science and spirituality explain together. And today you will understand exactly what is happening in your room while you sleep, why this happens specifically to you, and what to do to transform this in your favor. Look, I know you have already researched this. You have already tried to clean it with alcohol, with vinegar, with expensive products. You have already changed the cloth. You have cleaned in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. And the stain returns, sometimes in the same place, sometimes in another corner of the mirror, and you stay there thinking, could it be mold? Could it be humidity? Is the mirror spoiled? But deep down, very deep down, you feel there is something more. You feel that it is not just physics, and you are absolutely right. Before continuing, if you are watching this video now, it is not a coincidence. You were guided here because you need this information. So subscribe to the channel now, activate the bell, because what I am going to reveal in the next few minutes can completely change the way you care for the energy of your home and your life. And leave a like so this content reaches more people who need to know this. Let us start with what you are actually seeing. These stains on mirrors, especially in bedrooms, are accumulations of particles that science calls aerosols and volatile organic compounds. Translating, they are micro droplets of fat, sweat, dead skin cells, breath vapors, and even emotional residues that your body releases during sleep. Yes, you read that correctly. Emotional residues. When you are stressed, anxious, afraid, or angry, your body releases specific hormones. Cortisol, adrenaline, substances that exit through the pores through the breath and that literally impregnate the environment. And where do these particles stick? On mirrors. Because mirrors are smooth, cold surfaces that attract condensation. During the night while you sleep, the temperature of the room changes, you transpire, you breathe, and all that energetic and physical load you carry deposits itself there. The mirror functions as a capture portal, and it is not by chance that practically all the spiritual traditions of the world speak about covering mirrors at night, about the power of mirrors as portals, about the importance of keeping mirrors clean. Now comes the part that will make everything make sense. Have you noticed that these stains appear more when you are going through difficult phases, when you are anxious about work, fighting at home, worried about money, about health, about your children? It is not your imagination. Studies in the field of psychoneuroimmunology, which is the science that studies the connection between the mind, the nervous system, and the immune system, show that chronic stress alters the chemical composition of our sweat and our breath. You literally exhale your anguish, and this anguish materializes in the environment. Think with me. You arrive home after a horrible day, chaotic traffic, a boss breathing down your neck, an overdue bill, a talking back teenage son. You shower, eat dinner, lie down, but your mind does not turn off. You keep turning over the problems, planning, blaming yourself, anticipating tragedies, and your body responds. The heart accelerates, the breath becomes short. You break into a cold sweat, and all of this stays in the room. All of this sticks to the mirror. And the next day there is the stain, larger, more persistent, larger, and there is more. In spirituality, mirrors have always been considered objects of power. In Feng Shui, poorly positioned mirrors can suck the vital energy of the inhabitant, especially if they face the bed. In Umbanda and Candomblé, mirrors are used to reflect negative energies back to those who sent them. In Kardecist spiritism, mediums report that obsessive spirits use mirrors as anchoring points in environments. And in Jewish traditions, mirrors are covered during periods of mourning to prevent the soul of the deceased from becoming trapped. So what is truly happening? The mirror in your room is functioning as an energy detector when the energy of the environment is heavy, dense, charged with worry, fear, sadness, or anger. This manifests physically. The stains are the visual proof that something needs to be cleaned, not just the mirror, but the energy, your energy, and the energy of the space. Now let me ask you a direct question. When was the last time you energetically cleaned your room? I'm not talking about mopping the floor. I'm talking about cleaning the energy, about renewing the emotional air of the environment where you spend 1/3 of your life. Because if you are seeing these stains appear constantly, the message has been given. The universe is showing you that you need to act. And look how interesting. Many people report that when they begin to perform regular energetic cleaning in the room, the stains vanish. They simply stop appearing, or they appear much less. And it is not magic. It is cause and effect. When you change the vibrational frequency of the environment, when you remove the dense loads, when you establish protection, your own body responds differently. You sleep better, you breathe better, your physiology changes, and consequently, the stains diminish. But before I teach you what to do, you need to understand one fundamental thing. Not every stain on the mirror is external negative energy. Often, the negative energy is yours. It is the reflection of what you are carrying, of the bad thoughts you feed, of the worries you ruminate upon, of the fights you do not resolve, of the forgiveness you do not give, of the fears you do not face. And the mirror is showing you this. It is giving you a chance to see the invisible. Think of the symbology. The mirror reflects. It shows you the truth. And when a stain appears, it is as if it were saying, look here at what is clouding your life. Look here at what is blurring your vision. Look here at what is preventing you from seeing yourself clearly. It is a call for internal and external cleaning. And look, I know there are people who will find all of this very esoteric, but even if you are a completely skeptical person, completely rational, you cannot deny that the environment influences your mental state. It has been scientifically proven. Messy environments increase cortisol. Dark environments increase depressive symptoms. Environments with stagnant air impair cognition. So even if you do not believe in energy in the spiritual sense, you must agree that the quality of your environment directly affects the quality of your life. And do you know what I discovered talking to hundreds of people who go through this? That a pattern exists. The stains tend to appear more intense in the rooms of people who have gone through recent traumas, separations, mourning, dismissals, difficult medical diagnoses, betrayals. It is as if the mirror captured the emotional density of these moments and transformed it into visible matter. You can literally see the materialized pain. And there is another fascinating detail. The stains appear in formats. Sometimes they are circular, sometimes they are elongated, sometimes they form strange patterns that look like faces or symbols. And this is not paranoia. It is the random nature of condensation, combined with the unconscious projecting forms. Our brain is programmed to recognize patterns, especially faces. It is a survival mechanism. So when you see a face in the stain, it is not necessarily a spirit. It could just be your brain doing what it does best, finding meaning in chaos. But this does not diminish the importance of the phenomenon, because even if it is just physics and psychology, the impact is real, the discomfort is real, the fear is real, and all of this feeds more negative energy, creating a vicious cycle. You see the stain, you become afraid. The fear generates more stress, the stress generates more particles generate more stains. And the cycle perpetuates itself until you intervene consciously. Now let us talk about what really matters. What are you going to do with this information? How are you going to use the signal the mirror is giving you? Because knowledge without action transforms nothing. And I will give you now a complete protocol, step by step, tested by thousands of people, which cleans both the physical energy and the subtle energy of your room. And when you do this, you will perceive immediate changes. In sleep, in mood, in disposition, in relationships. And yes, the stains will vanish. First thing, you will perform a deep physical cleaning. And this is not optional, because dense energy accumulates in physical dirt. Remove everything from under the bed, clean the corners, wash the windows, change the bed linen, and clean the mirror with a mixture of water, white vinegar, and 3 drops of rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is a purifier in all traditions, and the vinegar breaks down fat molecules and removes the static charge that attracts energetic dust. While cleaning, mentalize that you are removing everything that no longer serves you. And here is a secret that few know. Always use natural cotton cloths, never synthetic, because synthetic fabrics accumulate static electricity, and this attracts more energetic dirt. Cotton is neutral. It absorbs without retaining. And after cleaning, do not reuse the cloth. Wash it separately with coarse salt to neutralize everything it absorbed. It seems like an exaggeration, but it makes all the difference. Second stage, ventilation and renovation. Open the windows. Let the sun in. Negative energy does not survive direct sunlight. It is like an energetic vampire. Sunlight has photons, which are light particles with high frequency, which literally disintegrate low frequencies. And if your room has no window, or you live in a dark apartment, use full-spectrum lamps, those that mimic sunlight. It makes a difference. Third stage, coarse salt. Place a glass with coarse salt under the bed in each corner of the room. Salt is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs humidity, and along with the humidity, it absorbs negative ions and electromagnetic charges. Change this salt every 7 days. And when you go to throw it away, throw it in the toilet and flush, never in the common trash. Because the salt absorbs the dense energy and you need to discard it correctly. And there is an upgrade to this step that few people do. Add 3 grains of raw rice to the glass with salt. The rice enhances the absorption. In the Oriental tradition, rice is a symbol of abundance and purity, and it has the capacity to suck negativity even more intensely than salt. It is the perfect combination. Fourth stage, fumigation. And here you have several options. You can use dried rosemary, you can use white sage, you can use quality natural incense. The important thing is that the smoke travels through all corners of the room, rising from the floor to the ceiling, in a counterclockwise direction to remove, and then in a clockwise direction to seal. The smoke carries the dense particles and neutralizes them, and while fumigating, you will verbalize. You will say out loud, "Everything that does not belong to me, leave this space now. Only what is mine remains. Only what elevates me remains. Only light and protection remain." And pay attention to how the smoke behaves. If it rises straight and light, the environment is already relatively clean. If it descends, becomes heavy, or spreads in a strange way, it is a sign that there is much density. In these cases, perform the fumigation twice with an interval of a few minutes between one and the other. Fifth stage, and this one is powerful. You will reposition the mirror or cover it at night. If the mirror faces the bed, move it to another place. If it cannot be moved, cover it with a light cloth during the night. This prevents it from functioning as a portal. And if you do not want to cover it, at least turn it sideways so that it does not reflect the bed directly. It seems silly, but test it for a week and see the difference in your sleep. Sixth stage, plants. Place a living plant in the room. St. George's sword if you want strong protection. Lavender if you want tranquility. Aloe vera if you want continuous cleaning. Plants are natural filters, both of air and energy. They transform carbon dioxide into oxygen, and in the subtle dimension they transform dense energy into light energy. It is science and spirituality working together. And there is a specific plant I need to mention, the anthurium. In Brazil, especially in the north and northeast, the anthurium is known as a plant that wards off envy and the evil eye. And from a scientific point of view, it is an excellent air purifier, removing formaldehyde and ammonia from the environment. Place a red anthurium in the room and observe the change. Seventh stage, sound. Play in the room at least once a week, cleaning mantras, frequencies of 432 Hz, Tibetan bowls, or even very loud claps in all corners. Sound breaks stagnant energetic fields. Sound vibration is energy in motion, and energy in motion does not accumulate. And if you want a powerful shortcut, use high-vibration Brazilian music. Root Samba, Bossa Nova, Brazilian classical music by Villa-Lobos. Music carries the cultural vibration of the people, and when it is joyful, festive, light music, it automatically elevates the frequency of the environment. Do not underestimate the power of a good samba playing in the room. And the eighth and most important stage, mental and emotional cleaning. Before sleeping, you will do a 3-minute exercise. Sit on the bed, breathe deeply 3 times, and mentalize your day passing in front of you like a movie. Everything that irritated you, everything that hurt you, everything that worried you, you will visualize leaving your body like black smoke and rising, dissolving, vanishing. And then you will fill the space with golden light, entering through the top of the head and filling the entire body. This reprograms your energetic field before sleep, and it completely changes the quality of the energy you will release during the night. Now there is something I need to tell you, and that few people talk about. Sometimes the stain on the mirror is not yours. It belongs to someone who lives with you. It is from the partner who is depressed. It is from the teenage son in crisis. It is from the elderly mother who is afraid. Because energy mixes. You sleep in the same room, share the same air, and end up absorbing the emotional load of the other. And then you clean, and the stain returns because the source remains active. In these cases, you need to have a conversation. An honest, loving, but direct conversation, and you need to propose that the person also performs their internal cleaning, because it is no use for you to take care of yourself if the one beside you is sinking. Energy is contagious for good and for evil, and if you want a truly clean environment, everyone who inhabits it needs to collaborate. And look how interesting. Many couples who began to perform energetic cleaning together reported significant improvement in the relationship. Fewer fights, more dialogue, more intimacy. Because when the room is energetically clean, defenses lower, masks fall, and people manage to truly connect. The clean room becomes a sanctuary of connection, not a battlefield. And there is another important detail. If you live alone and the stains continue appearing even after the entire protocol, it may be that you have a heightened mediumistic sensitivity and that the mirror is capturing presences. Spirits who are asking for help, who are trapped, who are confused. And in that case, you will need specialized spiritual help. Look for a spiritist center, a serious torero, a trusted healer. There is no shame in that. There is dignity in recognizing that you need support. And if you are wondering how to know if it is mediumship, here are some signs. You feel presences in the room at night. You hear whispers, footsteps, inexplicable noises. You have very vivid dreams, almost always with people who have already died. You feel chills without reason. You see peripheral shadows. If you identified with 2 or more of these signs, seek guidance. Mediumship without education becomes torment. Well-directed mediumship becomes a mission. Now let us talk about prevention. Because after you clean and the stains vanish, you will want to keep the environment that way. Clean, light, protected. And for that, you will create a simple weekly routine. Every Friday, for example, you renew the coarse salt. Open the windows for at least 20 minutes. Wipe the furniture with a damp cloth with rosemary and mentalize protection. Every Friday, without fail. This becomes a ritual. And rituals create force fields. They create energetic consistency. And once a month, preferably during the waning moon, which is the phase of cleaning and release, you perform the complete protocol again. Deep cleaning, fumigation, reorganization. It is like the maintenance of a car. You do not wait for the engine to blow to change the oil. You prevent it. With energy, it is the same thing. And there is an extra practice that is worth gold. Once a month on the new moon, light a white candle in the room, on a saucer with water and salt. Let it burn to the end. The candle represents transmutation. Fire transforms dense energy into light, and the water with salt underneath protects and absorbs any residue. It is a complete energetic reset. Look, I want you to understand one thing. The fact that you are seeing these stains does not mean you are weak, or that you are wrong, or that you attracted something bad. It means you are sensitive, that you perceive, that you are not anesthetized to the subtle reality that permeates life. And that is a gift that needs to be educated, channeled, but it is a gift. Most people live anesthetized, blind, deaf to the signs. And when life collects, they do not understand where it came from. You are seeing the signs. You are receiving the warnings. And that puts you at an advantage. And you know what else? When you clean the mirror and it becomes crystalline, you will begin to see yourself with more clarity, literally and symbolically. Because a clean mirror reflects the truth. And when the energy around is light, you manage to truly see yourself. Without the distortions that fear, anxiety, and density place there, you will look in the mirror and recognize who you truly are. And that changes everything. There are people who performed this process and reported clearer dreams, stronger intuitions, better decisions, more harmonious relationships. Because when you clean the external environment, the internal responds. When you put order in the room, the mind organizes itself. When you remove the dense energy from the space, the heart opens. It is all interconnected. And another thing, do not underestimate the power of your room. You spend between 6 and 9 hours a day there. It is where you are most vulnerable because you are sleeping without the defenses of the active conscious. If this space is contaminated, you are contaminating yourself every night. If this space is protected and clean, you are renewing yourself, healing yourself, strengthening yourself every night. The room is your temple of restoration. Treat it as sacred. And since we are talking about signs, pay attention to other signs as well. Electronics that break without reason, light bulbs that burn out frequently, pets that avoid entering the room, children who have nightmares, plants that die quickly. All of these are indicators that the energy of the space needs attention, and the mirror with stains is just one more of these indicators, perhaps the most visible, the most didactic. And there is a sign that many people ignore, the smell. If your room has a strange smell, somewhat sour, somewhat heavy, even after being cleaned and ventilated, it is stagnant energy, dense energy. And in that case, besides everything I have already said, you will need to spray water with dissolved coarse salt and a few drops of eucalyptus or mint essential oil. Spray it in the air, on the curtains, in the corners. The smell changes instantly, and with it, the sensation of the environment. Now, before finishing, I want to give you one last piece of advice. Do not become obsessed. Do not become paranoid. Do not transform this into another source of anxiety. You are not meant to live in function of cleaning energy all the time. You are meant to do the basics with consistency and trust. Trust that you are taking care of your space, that you are doing your part, and that the universe takes care of the rest. Balance lies in caring without despairing, in acting without tormenting oneself. And remember, true protection comes from within. It comes from your thoughts, from your words, from your actions, from the love you cultivate, from the gratitude you practice, from the forgiveness you offer. No fumigation, no coarse salt, no ritual will protect you if you live feeding hatred, envy, resentment, fear. Because you become what you nourish. And if you nourish light, you become light. And light does not need to hide from the darkness. Light dissolves darkness just by existing. So the true cleaning begins in you. The mirror is showing you this. The stains are summoning you to a deep cleaning, not just in the room, but in the soul, in the patterns, in the emotional vices, in the limiting beliefs, in the toxic relationships, in everything that is blurring your clarity and stealing your peace. And when you perform this complete, integrated cleaning, body, mind, and spirit, you will perceive that life changes in quality. Synchronicities increase, opportunities appear, the right people arrive, health improves, prosperity flows, because you opened space. You removed the density that blocked the light, and now the light can enter and illuminate everything. And there is a beautiful thing that happens when you truly clean the room. You begin to attract experiences that match this new frequency. If your room vibrates peace, you attract peace. If it vibrates love, you attract love. If it vibrates abundance, you attract abundance. It is the law of resonance, like attracts like. And your room is the epicenter of your private life, of your intimacy, of your literal and symbolic dreams. If it is clean, everything that comes to you passes through this filter of cleaning first. So go there, clean the mirror, clean the room, clean the mind, clean the heart, and watch the magic happen, watch life respond. Because life always responds when we take responsibility, when we stop being victims and become protagonists, when we see the signs, decipher the signs, and act according to the signs. And if you perform the entire protocol and want to share the result, leave it here in the comments. Tell me and everyone who is watching, because your report might be the push someone needs to start. And if you still have doubts, if you still have questions, leave them too. We are here to build knowledge together, to grow together, to elevate the collective consciousness, one video, one comment, one action at a time. And do not forget, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Activate the bell, share this video with those you know need it, and leave a like. Because each like, each share, each new subscription is one more person being reached by this information. It is one more life being transformed, and that is what matters. The stain on the mirror is not a problem. It is a teacher who arrived to teach you that you have power. Power to clean, power to transform, power to choose the energy that inhabits your life. And now that you know this, you will never look at that mirror the same way again. You will look with respect, with gratitude, because it is helping you to see what is invisible to the eyes, but totally real, totally present, and totally transformable. And one last thing before I say goodbye. Keep this in your heart. You are not alone on this journey. Thousands of people are going through exactly the same thing as you, seeing the same stains, feeling the same fears, seeking the same answers. And when you clean your space, you contribute to the collective cleaning. Because everything is connected, your peace contributes to the peace of the world. Your light contributes to the light of the world. You are more important than you imagine. So go for it. Clean that energy. Transform that signal into action and shine. Shine so much that the mirror cannot reflect anything other than pure light. You deserve a sacred room. You deserve a restorative sleep. You deserve a light life. And it all begins now. It all begins with you saying yes to transformation. Go, I believe in you.